Welcome, everyone. This is Debbie Mayberry with National Kitchen and Bath Association. If you're just joining us, you're here for the Future of Outdoor Kitchens, the 2020 Design Trends with Mitch Slater. He is the president of Danver and Brown Jordan, and it looks like Trex Outdoor Kitchens. At this point in time, I want to welcome Mitch, and I want to thank him for being here as well, and all of you too. Mitch, we're ready to get started if you are.
I am.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Debbie, and hello, everybody. Hope everyone's safe out there, and maybe you're working at home, maybe you're working in your office. I'm working in my office down here in Florida, and I'm finding a lot of people are working in their home offices or sequestered in their own office if they're able to do so. And I guess we have a lot of time on our hands in some cases to watch events like this, and I'm glad and to have this opportunity. So hopefully I'll be able to give you some really good knowledge on a segment that I've been doing for quite a while, 20 years now. And I'd like to pass on some information that I think you'll find interesting in the evolution of the outdoor kitchen and what it represents as an opportunity for you guys to get involved in. I'd be happy to take questions. I think you have to submit those through the chat. Debbie will ask me, or else some other way. Maybe there's voice, but I'm not sure. We'll see that in a little bit. Quick note on our brands. Danver's the company I started in 1998. We got involved in outdoor kitchens in 99, 2000, and then we became the Brown Jordan Outdoor Kitchens manufacturer under that brand under license in 2012, I believe it was. And just recently, this year in January, we began to manufacture as Trex Outdoor Kitchens as well. So we have three brands that we have on the market, all stainless steel cabinetry, pretty much the exact construction from one to the other, and different door styles and color palettes that are available.
Excuse me, Mitch, if you wouldn't mind just raising your voice a little bit louder, please, that would be appreciated. Thank you.
Okay, I'm usually screaming doing Zoom meetings, and I'm screaming because I'm talking to a computer a little bit away, and I'll try to scream a little into this microphone. Well, I want to focus on the future of the outdoor kitchens. I want to, talk about a little of what the evolution was for the people who are new to the market or want to get involved in the market. So you see where we've come from, and then I can show you where we see ourselves going, being led by the design community. Debbie, is that loud enough for you?
Yes, that's fine. Thank you.
Okay, sorry about that. So in 1999, we began making cabinet doors for indoor kitchen manufacturers that were stainless steel, which really taught us a lot about the kitchen business from the kitchen cabinet manufacturer standpoint. Because as a supplier to them, we learned kind of where they were putting the stainless and how they were using it and how they built cabinets and how each guy did it differently. And it really helped us understand the cabinet making business to the point where we actually started building indoor kitchens made of plywood and with stainless steel over them for New York City area. That seemed to be where we sold 99% of our kitchens. We're based in Connecticut. We have 50,000 square feet, 50 people, and we build everything in our factory there. We don't source any of the cabinetry anywhere else. We do buy slides, glides, legs, hinges, those types of things, as most cabinet manufacturers do. But as far as any of the construction, we do all in-house and to order. In 2000, that was pretty quick after we started building the doors. People were asking us to build cabinets out of stainless steel for outdoors, as opposed to something like this here, which is more of a typical kitchen with just a grill, side burner, and an insert, and they called that a kitchen because you were kind of cooking at it. It's really more of just a grill island, which was the most popular thing at the time. And what people were doing was just making more counter space for the most part outdoors. Then here's one where you could see on the right-hand side next to the refrigerator is a cabinet. So here's one where we sold an actual cabinet that they put into the stones. This is like people transitioning to something a little more countertop space, a little more storage, than just the access to the gas, which is under the grill. Here's another one. This one you could see is more of a kitchen. This is a built-in-place island, nothing to do with us really, but just seeing what people are doing around the country. It's pretty common, this stucco looking product that is made to match the house typically. That's what we saw. This is in the Southwest somewhere or down south here in Florida. I'm not really sure, don't remember. But what you will notice, there's a roof over it, and that's when they started covering these kitchens to make them more useful during either hot sun, if it's in the desert, or rain when it's in the summer, like a place like in Florida, New Orleans area, or something like that. And here there's no hood under a roof, and that now you'd find code specifying that you needed to have a hood. But anyway, this early stuff gave us a lot of information on how to approach the market. But what we really were worried about is how could we be different than what was already being done? Because the market was, believe it or not, evolved fairly well for outdoor kitchens to be doing them as barbecue islands that I showed you in the earlier pictures. And we were trying to figure out how we could be different. So what we found was that there was some interest in cabinetry. We were approached by Viking, and we built cabinets as an OEM under their name. So I would sell them with their name on the cabinet, as well as our brands. So luckily, we got some credibility from Viking for doing that. People knew who Viking was, and if Viking said cabinets were okay, and if Viking said Danver was okay, then all of a sudden cabinets were kind of okay, which was good. And what we were trying to do in learning how we could make an impact was to bring the tools to make the designer or architect look really good. That's what we were focusing our energy on, because if the designer or an architect wanted these products, then it helped give us leverage for selling them, and that's what we kind of needed. Um, we started here. You see, it's all stainless, polished number 304 finish, which is the type that does not hold a magnet, so it's pretty resistant, but you still have to clean it near pools or salt air. And they're still installed in a surround. So this is still focused on the basically replacing the inside of what a typical built-in island would look like with cabinets. And we saw that going through the years. Here's another one. This has another typical type of look where they have a bar height seating that looks at the kitchen, and that's pretty typical of that era. And even today, you still see some of that where a lot of it is focused on watching somebody cook. Um, we've seen that for a number of years, but we started seeing it go away from that to where this person is working, but there was seating away from the actual cooking area. So what we were trying to find was that how could we change the whole industry? And one of the ways to do it was to make it more like a real kitchen, which was part of the space, more of an entertainment space. And at that same time, we were asked by an architect to powder coat the stainless because they wanted it to look more like an indoor cabinet, even though they were putting it outside. And that struck us as a good idea because this is back in 2005 when we were doing still almost all stainless. Nobody was doing powder coating on stainless because it actually made no sense at that time. But to us, since we had a powder coat line, we figured we could offer that as an option. And pretty soon after, we started seeing requests as we showed it at trade shows for more and more of the powder coat. Here's an instance where the deck has a weight restriction, so you're not going to put any kind of a stone thing on here. And we had people really liking the fact that we could make it a standalone item. They're able to screw these down to the deck if they're in a zone that requires it. You can finish the backs if you see them from the yard, and a lot of people were doing decks, and this was all over the country. This particular one's in the Virginia area or Maryland, I forget. But we see it in Colorado and Atlanta area. Some in the Northeast we see decks, but regardless, it was just one of those things where we could demonstrate how you can have a more what we call modern look because it seems lighter without having to have stone around it, and you could affix them to a base or to a wall, and that led to a real increase in our sales. And the designers were really excited about the colors. So colors became critical. Secondarily, you see there's a shaker door style there, so we got involved in a lot of door styles. These are the pretty typical. We had it open for glass, and this particular one was a glass that we actually provide for a look of the sea glass type, and then we had the shaker style and the slab. That was our real items that we were selling a lot of. Here's another one. There's a wide rail and style door because what we started to do was introduce the Brown Jordan outdoor kitchens line. And while the cabinet construction is the same, we offer door styles that are only available in the Brown Jordan line. So we have the louver and the beadboard, and then we introduced our TECNO line, which is the one on the far right, which is an integrated handle starting to follow a more European look that we were getting requests for from a lot of designers for their more modern homes that they were designing for. And then recently, in January, we offered the Trex line, and the Trex has, well, it has the base doors, meaning the flat door, the shaker style and stuff. We introduced two other door styles, which capture a more Americana look. We call it the Newport and the London. And these are, different doors that we have been asked to do in the other brands, but in order to differentiate the brands, while the cabinet construction is the same, is to offer different door styles, and that's what we've done here. We've also offered some new colors. This has become a pretty popular color right away, and this is just a sample of a small layout that was actually done inside. But you can see that the look is completely different than some of the other kitchens that I showed you already because people are looking for, in this case, a glossy color, more this blue gray. That's a real popular thing now. And as I mentioned, what we're seeing is real move towards the colors, all these different bright colors. They want neutral colors. It's kind of all over the map right now. So what we're doing is showing different colors to people, and as is typical with many designers, they want something that's not on the standard list. So we offer a way to get special order colors. While we led with our colors kind of per brand, what we found was that people want to put say a TECNO color on a Danver kitchen or a Danver color on a Brown Jordan kitchen or several other combinations that you can come up with. And we allowed a way to be able to do that for the most part. Some of the colors are proprietary. The Brown Jordan colors that I actually buy from Brown Jordan, the outdoor furniture company. A lot of people will want those to match the furniture that they have. Those colors are only available on the Brown Jordan on the Brown Jordan line. Many of you know who Cosentino is. We do a lot of work with Cosentino, and this is a few of their decked-in colors. Their decked-in is their outdoor non-porous material that they use and sell for flooring, building skins, and countertops outdoors. So we were able to duplicate four of the finishes that they have. The upper left is Aura. The bottom left is Oryx. Nilium is the upper right, and Trillium is the lower right. And in those cases, people wanted to look like their countertops that we were able to make complete kitchen that looks like any one of these stones because they would put the top on to match. There's a lot of this commonality now in color. Saturation of colors also where the cabinet matches the countertop. We found some call for that. Here's some of the Trex colors. We put a new palette together, more brighter colors because we're seeing that, and we had seen that in several of the special order colors that we were getting, and a lot of those blues and grays. are very popular, as are the whites and white and black. And we have a lot of whites and blacks. They're very much different when you mix the texture with a smooth. It's a totally different look, and you can do different blacks on any of the brands, as I said. One of the things we found interest in was that people like the idea of wood, but nobody wants to do any maintenance with wood. So there's different processes. We use one that's a powder coat process to apply wood finish to the stainless steel as well. So again, while all these colors are out there, we're also looking for wood, but the underlying construction is still the stainless steel cabinet, which is resistant to most problems with it that you'll find in an environment. One of the big problems that other materials have in areas where it gets cold in the winter and hot in the summer is you get movement of the material. So you can get bowing or sagging sometimes on products that move a lot in the heat or cold. We don't get that with stainless steel. That's one of the reasons we really felt that was the best material to use, is that it moves very little. We sell places like Calgary, for instance. We sell a lot of kitchens up there, and there it gets 95 degrees in the summer and 40 below in the winter. Really a lot of change in the temperature, and these things stand up very well without worrying about any of that kind of effect on the product itself and the finish on the materials. So what the outdoor kitchens have become, which is really a great thing for us and you, is it's like an extension of the home. So it's become more of an extra room. So it used to be that builders, for instance, would throw in what they call the outdoor kitchen, which was like those early ones I showed you. And the problem when they throw it in is that if it costs anything more than zero, it's too much. So we were having a hard time cracking that market in the beginning. But once it was called an outdoor living room, an outdoor entertainment space, and it was an extension of the home and viewed that way, the builder was able to actually get money for that because it was square footage, even though it was not maybe under air, it was under cover in many cases, and they were able to sell that to the homeowner, and then the homeowner would outfit it with stuff like ours because it looked like indoor product. So there's been a rush to that market in the last, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. I'd say there's new cabinet manufacturers making outdoor kitchens all over North America. It's the States and Canada, most of it, not really Mexico. But they've come into the market because now there's a bigger demand. Before there was just rock walls with inserts. And the inserts were typically sold by the grill manufacturers. So the builder who may have a contract with KitchenAid or GE or Sub-Zero Wolf or something would buy the package, which included an insert, a refrigerator, side burner, and a grill, or something like that, and install it in something that their mason would build, and that was the throw-in. Where now they were looking at making the whole room, and then the cabinetry became something that was very popular. Remodelers, same thing. The backyard people, uh, they've had a good run with it. We sell a lot through the backyard contractors because in that case, in many cases, the outdoor kitchen was actually part of the contractor's package for the backyard. So all of a sudden, cabinetry portion was not as big a part of it as if it was just the only thing the homeowner was buying. They would contract for, a fairly large backyard project, which included maybe a pool, landscaping, a patio or deck, a series of decks even, and a kitchen. And you could fit into that budget fairly well because it was part of a large project. Architects began specifying outdoor kitchens with cabinetry in the last several years. Before that, it was just like a square or a rectangle on a drawing, undefined, until the contractor got there and was building the house. Now the architects are part of that planning, and that's part of the look of that outdoor living and entertainment space that can help us all because it gets a kitchen gets specified there. And that's productive for all of us in the market because it gives us something to offer to address that spec. Same with interior designers. The interior designers is a fast-growing segment for us and has been for years because they're attempting, and that's you guys, are attempting to create this space for them, and the color and the door styles actually mean something. And that's why we've got that group of doors, and we always have something else on the horizon that's driving us to do something new. And we attempt to show that every year at the trade shows. Unfortunately, um, this year the trade show season is pretty much on hold. We were lucky enough to get KBIS and IBS, which we were able to show at, and a lot of our competitors that you probably saw is there as well, who are addressing this market. And but then all the other shows we do, which is after that, now, for instance, are gone. Um, so you're going to see a lot of, I think, virtual shows done by manufacturers to try to help you see what they were going to offer at the show. And that's an important thing because a lot of people wait until those shows to introduce things. So the landscape architects, kitchen bath professionals, and retailers are all getting involved in this in one way or another. Sometimes it's just the appliances. A lot of the retailers are specialty appliance retailers, and they're selling heaters, fire pits, and uh, um, grills, and they'll sell refrigeration, heaters, other stuff that go along with that as well. What we had seen in the last 3 or 4 years is this again this evolution into the indoor outdoor living space, so much so that you'll see like on the right, if you look at the right picture, that's the same picture as the one on the left, but the left gives you a close-up, and you'll see that that's meant to be a sliding glass door right there. That's like a nano wall. So on the right side is the grill, and on the left side is the house. And what we're able to do with our wood finish, for instance, is make it look like it's an indoor kitchen, even though it's an outdoor space with a hood and everything. So this is the market that we're seeing develop really strongly and that we're getting involved in. Here's another one, completely different area. The other one was in Las Vegas. Uh, this one is in California, and you can see that's indoor outdoor living is something that's become really mainstream. We're seeing this in all places in the country, including the Northeast. Um, it's the covering is important because it allows for um, some people are actually putting indoor appliances out there, probably against code, but the installer is putting them in. The if you look at the picture on the right, you can see a close up of the dishwasher next to the refrigerator there. That that's available indoors, or excuse me, outdoors because it's made for outdoors. But there are indoor ones that people are putting outside, and if it's completely covered, they call it a three-season room, and it seems to work. But the warranty is usually voided, so you got to be careful of that. Here's another indoor outdoor space. We find ourselves a lot of times against walls, and people want to have storage on the in wall cabinets. So that's been, that comes from our original design when we did indoor kitchens. We built full indoor kitchens out of stainless, and now we can sell those pieces outdoors as well. I was talking about Calgary before. Here's a Calgary kitchen. Uh, Pretty gigantic area for entertaining. And you see the snow in the background, and they got their heaters on and stuff because it's cold there. That giant hood over the pizza oven, the burner, and the grill and the egg. So they got a lot of cooking going on there. The bar, they got a lot of stuff going on. And again, this was designed by an architect for the homeowner so that they could use it year round. Uh, Now, if it's 40 below, I doubt they're out there, but If it's not, if it's somewhere less than that, even though there's snow and it's cold, you could still use that room, and that was their idea, so that they could get out from just sitting in the house and entertain outside. The Canadians are hardy people. Uh, I'm assuming the Minnesotans are as well, and anyone else living in the real cold. But our goal is to provide product that could last within that environment, and it should be your goal if you're up in the Northeast. Don't discount the number of kitchens that are getting sold there. Um, so some of the recent trends we're seeing are, appliances. There's all sorts of advancement in cooking. Lots of different grills. You're seeing these Argentinian grills. Kalamazoo has this gaucho grill, they call it, and they're getting tons of competition because apparently they're selling a bunch, and a lot of people are finding that it's fun. It's a where you're able to raise and lower the grate to get it closer to the fuel, and a lot of times that fuel is wood or lump charcoal. We're seeing tons of refrigeration products, ice for ice makers are continuing to grow. Now you're seeing drawer refrigeration, you're seeing drawer ice storage, you're seeing all sorts of things that you would normally have seen only indoors coming outdoors. And I think we're going to continue to see development of that. Um, we're seeing a lot of this Euro, what we're calling Euro. I'll show you some pictures of what we're doing in that segment. But the European look is coming to us via the designers and architects who are doing modern homes and looking for that kind of product for outdoors. More of a furniture look is what we launched last year. I'll show you some of what we did with that and what we're doing now for the more modern things, and balconies and terraces in the multifamily segment. And then I have as a separate bullet multifamily just in general, where they're shared amenity spaces, and that would be like rooftops or what they call a podium, which is kind of mid-level on a high-rise. There may be several of those, so that people who are renting an apartment in an upscale apartment building are looking for these amenity spaces. Dog washing stations, dog walking areas, uh, bocce, pools, and then of course grilling areas that are shared, and grilling and seating. So there's a lot of that going on right now, and that's huge. Uh, and it's been huge for us because we've developed a lot of product in that segment because of the requests. In 2017, we put this out there. We collaborated with Daniel Germani, a designer, architect, whose specialty is in the furniture market. And he came up with this concept that we built. We collaborated on it, kind of put it out there just to see what people thought of this modern look. That's stainless steel uh, and powder coated to look like the stone. Decton was a part of that collaboration. You can see this Decton on top, the aura, and then we reproduced the image, and we're able to put it on powder coat on the stainless. It was a pretty cool concept. It won a series of awards. I think we won, what is that? Yeah, Interior Design Product of the Year in 2017, believe it or not. And the beauty of that is that it gave birth to what people wanted in that segment from us. So we were able to take that design and offer that full height door Euro look, very simplified, clean look with the integrated handle, and that became our TECNO line actually. It can support any grill, does all the stuff the other cabinets do, but it has kind of a different look. Nested drawers, one of those things that people were looking for in these types of cabinets. These could easily be put inside or indoors, but really our specialty is outdoors, and people are looking for the stainless product. So that's what we were able to do, and that came from that concept that we put out there. Here's like another example of it out on a patio, and the full height look. These people chose to use the look of the handle in the more traditional look, where you had the drawers actually separated as opposed to the nested drawers. So we adapted to the demand. And here you can see a nice smooth interface. Here's another one. This is up in Tiburon, north of San Francisco, with a charcoal grill. This is the chef's kitchen. The chef wanted this special grill. He wanted that look as well, and you can see it's a very clean, modern look, and we have a lot of call for this. And then last year at the ICFF show, International Contemporary Furniture Fair, which we do, we showed another collaboration with Daniel. This time, taking from that same concept car that I showed before, um, we wanted to get a different kind of handle, integrated as well. This is the back bevel, and I'll show it more on a close-up fashion in a second. But on legs, high legs, so that it's modular in nature. It could stand alone. You could put a grill in it. You could put refrigerator. If you see next to the grill on the left, that's a refrigerator, small one. And then it has open seating section on the left at countertop height. So we're able to do countertop supports between these modules. And it affords the designer the ability to do sections and small modules. And so we showed it as a concept, and it was extremely well received. Designers really love this concept, um, and the modularity it represents, so that they could um, uh, break out or separate from the standard built-in looking kitchen. So you're not trying to put between walls and have a built-in look. You're trying to have this modular approach, which is sectionals almost. Um, so here's an example of that. That's the Rockwell grill by Caliber. It's a very modern looking grill, allows you to approach from all sides, excuse me, front and back. And the refrigerator is a small type that it's not the overriding reason for having a kitchen. It's more that it's convenient. This is that same segment, but we did it in the green. So here, in this case, we're matching the green. The other one, we were matching the blue of the Decton top. There's the back bevel door. So you put your hand in there and pull it out to open it up. And those were set up as like a sideboard in your home indoors, but it's made of stainless steel and powder coated. Well, from this furniture influence and this well-received presentation that we did at ICFF, we were ready for showing it at this year's ICFF, which has been canceled, and that's at Javits Center, which is now a makeshift hospital, believe it or not. And you've probably seen that on the news in New York. And what we did is we updated that to be this. So here's what we're actually going to produce. That other was a prototype. And from that, we found that people wanted it to be more of a piece of furniture, more like a true sideboard. So what we did is we moved the legs out to the front so that they're not underneath the cabinet. We reduced the number of legs. Before, when we developed it, we were trying to come up with a way to have fewer legs so that it would look more like furniture. But in the time frame we had to develop it for the show, we were not able to do that. But here again, working with Daniel and several other designers that we who wanted this look, we were able to produce a version that will allow for fewer legs, and they're out to the front and the sides so that it looks like furniture. So this is effectively the same as that other sideboard, but we've evolved it into a production version of the cabinetry. So here's 3 modules, 2 feet apiece. So 24, 24, 24. We're going to offer this line in 2 sizes, 24 and 18, that you can mix and match. And then you can add on segments. This 6th segment is 6 feet. You could add another 6 feet. You could add a grill. You could add a refrigerator, very similar to the green and blue one I showed you, but in a production version that will be able to stand with those legs on the outside. It looks really nice, more like furniture. Here's a front view of that. And another thing we showed at this year's IBS show was the ability for us to powder coat the drawers to look like wood, just like we do on the normal doors. We had requests over the years to powder coat the drawers, and we resisted it because we were still working with the wood on the outside. Hadn't really got enough requests to do the inside. So what we did was figure we'd show it at the show and see what the response was. And the response was overwhelming. So what we're going to do is when we well, we're actually it's tomorrow, April 1st. We're launching that as part of the option package for all the lines that we carry: the Brown Jordan Outdoor Kitchens, Danver, Trex, and this line, which we call Elements. This will be an option in that, as well a powder coated interior. We had a lot of requests for doing that over the years. And again, coming up with it was problematic. So we did it here and there on special jobs that people were insisting on, and we decided to show it at the same show, and it was well received also. So we're adding that along with the powder coated wood for the drawers as an option on all the brands because people want it, and who am I to say I'm not going to give it to you? The other thing here is you'll see this cabinet is a pass-through cabinet, so you can approach it from all sides. Um, that was another uh, thing that we had heard was there was interest from, and that was also in that concept product that we had. There was a pass-through, but it didn't have doors. So this one we've designed to have doors, so it can be either one side approach or both sides approach, and you can open it. It's an optional difference between the cabinets, but same module sizes. And before I describe that other segment that we have, which is the multifamily segment, and I'll show you a few of those. And here is an earlier adaptation of the ADA requirement, because when you have a shared space, you're required to have it at an ADA height. So we have a couple of ADA sink bases there on the left of this picture, and you can see that's at a lower height than the built-in segment where the grill is. Um, in all likelihood, that would not pass today code because currently we're making the whole thing at ADA height, so including the grill space. And you see on the two ADA sink bases, one is being used as a sink base, the other is being used as an ADA workstation if someone were in a wheelchair could approach and work there. Since this was done, we developed the countertop supports that don't require a cabinet to open that space up. As I showed in the prototype of the blue kitchen a couple of slides ago, we're able to support the counter across some good sized spaces, 4 and 5 feet, with the countertop support system that we developed. Here's another adaptation. This is all at ADA height, as you can see. And this particular one, the open space on the left is still the outdoor kitchen. Excuse me, the ADA sink base, and on the right you'll see the sink base. It's used as a sink, and next to it is the open space. So again, we're seeing evolution, adaptation that people are looking for, what they're looking for, and we've developed this over a 5-year period. So we have a lot of installations where they see these are cabinets. People want to get away from cabinets. This one here will show you though another innovation. This is in New York. I think that's the Empire State Building. Is that possible? Yeah, maybe. Um, and there's cabinets along where the grill is at the ADA height, and then you see a dead ending into on the far side into a bar height, believe it or not, a bar height seating package, which is 42 inches high on the left and the right. And that's something the developer wanted. So I know that's not ADA, but they have their ADA space where the cooking is, but the seating is elevated. And we saw that happening in New York area like this, the DC area, the Northern California and Southern California. as well as Colorado. So we start seeing these things spreading across the country because a lot of these architectural firms are doing work regardless of where they are, maybe in Dallas, but they're doing work all over the country. And they're taking things that they find as a successful implementation and moving it across the country. So we're able to develop in-house something that seems popular and bring it to market very quickly um, because we've already developed the baseline product, which is at ADA height. And here's that. So you can see they don't want cabinets here. Here we put cabinets only under the grill so that they could access the gas line. This is a PGS grill, which has the timer on the manifold, that kind of green light. Uh, what that is it allows 1 hour before the gas shuts off. And that's a requirement, whether it's on the manifold or on the gas line attached to the grill, so that people who are using it, since they don't own it it's not theirs, they don't really care so much, so they sometimes leave the gas on. So this is meant to not have that happen. I took my first sip of water. Um, anyway, we call this a PPS, the area on this cabinetry setup that is not cabinetry. It allows us to reduce the cost of the carrying of the countertop because it doesn't provide storage space. However, if you needed to get access to the gas or electric that's behind there, those panels come off. You don't need to take the countertop off to get there. So that's been a boon to the installers and to the developers because they have a much more simplified thing that no one's storing any product in. So I can give you some of the. I plan right now to give you some of the numbers that we've seen over the past several years that we allowed us to produce an outdoor living report based on our experience. We wanted to make sure that we could get what we were seeing out to the market. As a thought leader in this segment, we helped develop it from nothing. And in the last several years, there's so many avenues to go down. People don't know what to do, where to jump into the market. So we wanted to try to help people along with what's going on in that market. And we put out the uh, outdoor living report 2018, I think it was, or I think it was 2018, state of the industry kind of thing. So what you could see is that people are spending a lot of money. This is an important thing, as I was describing earlier on. It's now a profit center for people, for the builders, the contractors, all these remodelers, people who are doing work outside, to know that they're providing something that people are willing to spend money on. That makes it worth investing in. And I've been telling people this for years, but until it comes to your door, sometimes you don't see it. And I'm hoping that you guys are seeing requests for these outdoor living spaces, so you can provide a solution, and hopefully we or someone like us can be able to help you do that. But the sizes can be large also. We're seeing some, as you saw that Calgary one with the snow in the back. That's a big space they're allocating to the outdoor space. I was just up in Vancouver at the Build X show in February, and houses there, monster houses on relatively small lots, still taking up a big portion of the lot with an outdoor space. Some of them include a pool. A lot of them are patio and cooking and seating, and that's a huge thing because our things do cooking, but they also augment the seating area with bars and things, and a lot of opportunity to do modern stuff, which we're seeing because it's a cosmopolitan city in that area, as are many of the American cities that are looking for modern product. Miami, D.C. area, New York, anything that looks at New York, Chicago, Dallas, California, and Colorado. We're seeing it all over the place. And the we're seeing a lot more contemporary, as I mentioned. That's what drove us to design the Elements product, um, because we're seeing push on us to develop it. Designers are saying, can you do this? Can you do that? We showed this product last year, and now they want to buy it for a year, but it takes a long time to take a prototype to market, since we have to build everything, we do have control over it, but we have the other stuff we've been building, the more traditional product, which is still most of our business. And we've come out a year later, a little less than a year later, with the product ready to offer. It looks like we'll be able to take orders in mid-month in April. That's the plan. It could slip because of this coronavirus situation. I'm hoping not, because Connecticut, where we're located, manufacturing is considered a essential business. So we're able to continue designing and building. Our sales and marketing staff are working remotely. So we do our production meetings by Zoom. I'm sure some of you are familiar with that. But that's working really well for us. But anyway, the point to take away from here is that the market's big and getting bigger and broader. This contemporary styling is new. So I'm hoping that you're going to see that opportunity come as well as the traditional stuff to your area. What we're seeing is transitional, contemporary, eclectic, contemporary. Meanwhile, traditional is still sold everywhere. But we asked the designers what they were seeing and being asked to do, and that's where these types of things come from. It wasn't just us, seeing it from our sales. We were hearing it from designers. We do a lot of designer events and compiled data from those people at focus groups and things like that to understand the market. And what it's showing is that there's a lot of call all over for everything, which is beautiful. You just got to know what you're talking about in front of each segment to be able to understand what they're looking for and help them provide the product for their designs and for what their customers are looking for. And that's a beautiful thing. What we're also seeing for people to be able to add to these are the lounge seating. Where before, as I showed you way back when in the beginning of this thing, everyone sitting at a high top looking at the guy cooking, we've seen a complete move away from that. There's still people doing it, but they don't come to us, or they come to us for something different, and that's why they're coming to us. Cooking appliances explosion. If they can, they'll fit 5 different ways to cook outside. If they can't, they'll get a multi-cooker. Some way they'll do a grill that has different fuels, or a smoker grill like a Memphis grill, or Coyote's new smoker grill, which is phenomenal. Touch screens, and it does everything automatically, and it looks like a real nice grill. And dining tables and seating, again, away from necessarily away from the cooking, and more in a traditional layout of a great room, which you might see where the kitchen's over there, but you see the dining area, you see the seating area, so it's like a great room outside. And what we're trying to do is just complement these product upgrades. And you're seeing some of the specialty appliances that we're seeing out there. And we're trying to provide a product that can support these in either storage or functionality of some way. The latest design concepts, colors, blue, black, and white. And I think I should have put gray there because there's tons of grays. I would say gray is the new black, but I think black is the new black. Either way, it's blue, black, white, and gray. That's what we're seeing. Multifamily amenity spaces. These developers are building multifamily all over the country, and in order to attract renters, they're putting in amenity spaces, and they're competing with their amenity spaces so that the place looks really sharp and looks like a place that people want to be at. Influences, we're seeing this furniture look as I described, the European look. That's something, and those are two new things. Traditional has been out there for a long time, so that's still strong. But this is a new segment, and this is supposed to be something I'm talking about, which is the future, and that's what we're seeing. And you guys grabbing hold of this thing and taking it to the next level, and we're there for you to help you. And the beauty of what we do for you is that we have in-house design and manufacturing, so we could turn something around fairly quickly. And we do some specialty things if the project warrants it. If it's large enough, we can do a specific thing. That's what American manufacturing is all about. And I'm proud of our company, and hopefully we can help you and in your future. And I'm hoping we come soon to the end of this virus episode, and hope you're all safe. So thank you for allowing me to present to you what we're doing.
Okay, Mitch. Well, thank you so much. There are a lot of questions that have come in, so I'm just going to keep going with that. All right. So someone is searching for two things for their pool house that they're designing. One of them is a full-size refrigerator, not under counter, and a window that can be used for the indoor-outdoor counter. Do you have any ideas on that by any chance?
Outdoor refrigerator, no, there's none that I know of, but people put outdoor refrigerators all the time. And well, actually, there is one I know of. I take that back. I take that back. True. We sell the True under counter, but True tells me they can put any of the refrigerators outside. They're made to be indoors or outdoors, full size or not. Tell a funny story, quick. I was in Hawaii, in Maui. Went to uh, a shrimp truck up on a mountain overlooking the ocean, and we get our little plate of shrimp, and then he says, pick a drink out of the refrigerator. We go over the refrigerator. It's a glass True. It looked really old. I took a picture of it, sent it to my buddy at True. It was a 1978 True that had been there since they bought it in the salt air of Hawaii without any issues. Amazing. So anyway, a True would be what I would recommend to put outside because they tell me you could put any of their stuff outside. What was the other one? A window? I'm not sure of that.
Yeah, it was a indoor-outdoor window by the indoor-outdoor counter.
Not in the window business. If it's a sliding one, one of those uh, like walls, a nano wall, and they have several competitors. But that's a big, wall of window. I'm not really sure of other windows. I mean, I have hurricane windows on my house, but I'm not really sure what that would be. I don't understand that one, so I
Okay.
can't help on that.
Okay. So that's good. And so let's see. Do you believe that the post-COVID outdoor luxury will be affected? Is there a recovery forecast? It may be too soon to tell, but I guess that's the question.
Um, our sales are running at about the winter rate. Uh, so far, we had our normal huge increase first week of March, uh, and then it's been a steady decline. Well, steady. It was only a few weeks, right? So we had second week of March was a big drop, and then we were a slight drop. The third week of March, slight drop. Fourth week of March, last week. Um, so we're running at above actually our when I say our winter rate, we have a seasonality after Thanksgiving to the beginning of February, very small sales, and or what we consider very small sales, and we're a little above that right now. I mean, last week, while I would say it was not really, I mean, it was half of what I was expecting. It was still pretty good, and uh, I'm hoping that, and our quoting is through the roof. So post COVID, I'm assuming people are quoting jobs because they expect something to happen. Our normal lead time is 4 weeks. We have our whole staff except minus 8 people on the factory floor, and we're only running at regular 40 hours a week because I want to pull through. I don't want to eat up my backlog. So the backlog is strong, and orders are coming in. So I think, and quoting is coming in strong. So I'm assuming that the post-COVID luxury market is going to be there strong, and that's what I'm hearing from my reps and my dealers. Uh, after this thing is um, uh, put to bed.
Okay. Okay. I know it is too soon to tell. I agree. But those are good things that
Yeah,
are
it's a good
happening.
sign. I have a good sign, and I feel good about it. I was worried when it was initially the sales were going down, but I'm not. But I'm seeing them hold at this level that they're at, and the quoting is making me feel good about it.
Good. So what is someone's asking about Brown Jordan's Instagram handle. Do you have one?
Phil, do you have one? I don't know any of that stuff. I don't do it or use it. Uh, Phil, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm not sure what it is off the top of my head, but if you look on the brownjordanoutdoorkitchens.com website, we've got a link.
Ah,
Okay.
there you go.
Thank you. All righty. So it says there's another question. Is your Trex line powder coat as well or using Trex material for doors? I'm not sure what that question is.
I understand that question because
Okay, good.
there was another person doing Trex outdoor kitchens for the last 5 years. The Trex and they parted ways. That was a high density polyethylene cabinet, which is plastic, not Trex material. And they are working with us because they want our cabinets. So our cabinets and the Trex cabinets are identical, stainless steel, powder coated stainless steel doors, just like Danver and Brown Jordan outdoor kitchens. But we do have two doors that are not available in any other brand, just like I described. But the standard door, the slab door, and the shaker style door are available in Trex as well. So Trex really got involved with us because there's people who want a Trex branded one, or who might want these doors that we designed specifically for the Trex line. Uh, but it is the same construction as the rest of our cabinets. I know that can be confusing because Trex makes the material, the recycled material of composite, but the cabinets are stainless steel.
Okay. Someone's been asking, we had this question in one of the other outdoor living webinars. Who is making the outdoor dishwasher? They're often hard to find.
Azco is the guy making it. Azko.
Okay.
That's owned by Garangi. I believe that, well, I know for a fact that Sub Zero had the exclusive rights to distribute it in the US. And as you probably know out there, they developed the Cove as their dishwasher. And I talked to the Sub Zero people, and they said they thought that the guy I talked to believed that they had one more year, I believe that's this year, of rights to sell it, and that they were going to continue to sell it, even though it competes with, in the indoors anyway, with their Cove dishwasher. But I believe that the Sub Zero people, so it's Clark in the East, the Sub Zero themselves in the Midwest. I'm not sure who has it around, but those distributors should have availability on the ASCO.
Yep, that's what I'm seeing. A couple people were commenting ASCO. So,
Okay.
yep, so we're good there. And then someone was also commenting when we were talking about the outdoor refrigerator, Perlick.
Yes, Ehrlich's another excellent one. I put them on a par with True. True will tell you that's not true, but they're both excellent refrigerators. We make door fronts for them to match our cabinets so that you could put any of those door styles if you're blending it into an outdoor kitchen. Perlick and True, in my opinion, I run into them quite frequently because those are probably the best two. There's Summit, who makes one, Uline, Marvell.
Okay. So I know you kind of touched on the typical price point for outdoor cabinet lines. So I don't know if you want to elaborate on that any further or not.
Um, these kitchens are probably $1,000 a foot at retail without the bells and whistles. So you start, you powder coat, you add a five-piece door with with beadboard, and you powder coat it in wood and stuff. The numbers can go higher than that, but there's money in it at the wholesale level, and the customers. I think there was that Pottery Barn. My wife shows me yesterday. The Pottery Barn catalog has an outdoor kitchen in it.
Hmm.
Well, they got three cabinets, but the cabinets are $2,000 a pop at retail.
Wow. Wow.
So, we're talking about the people that used to see in Home Depot an $8,000 so-called outdoor kitchen, which is a Chinese grill and a couple of cabinets all stuck together on wheels,
Hmm.
and it was $8,000. So that was what the public's perception of what an outdoor kitchen would be, and we had to compete with that. But now you see in a Pottery Barn, which is out to the masses, $2,000 cabinet. So I think people will get an idea now that there's more to it than the $8,000 Home Depot one.
Got
And
it.
so we're kind of in between there, and it depends on the options you put on it.
Okay, so I know there was a question here, a very specific question about costs for an L-shaped 6 by 8 foot stainless outdoor with Euro style, but I'm not sure if you want to get into quoting
I have no
at this
idea. That has
point.
to be quoted. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
I don't quote jobs, so
of course not.
I'm just trying to give you an idea, and maybe that Pottery Barn one it could be. I don't know. We
That's
could quote one for you. How about that? You have your quote people. I got people who quote all day long,
there you go.
and then you can get an idea.
Okay. So someone's asking about the cabinet line that you showed with the leveling legs and full kick. Most projects have sloped flooring for water drainage. Is that the case with your cabinetry?
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's two elements to that. One is you go there and the patio's already in, and they slope it from the wall. The second is you have control over the patio when it's being done, and which is a lot of people who work with builders, a lot of our customers, and they get the builder to pour it flat, level, that is, from the wall forward to where the legs are, and then start the slope in front of the cabinets. That's where it's part of the plan, as opposed to someone who's coming in after. But they all have leveling legs. I don't know which line they were talking about, the one with the tall legs. We have glides under there that allow you flexibility to raise and lower. On the regular cabinets that are built in, there you have much more adjustability, 3, 4 inches of adjustability. The slope depends also on where you are in the country. We get heavy rain down here. There's a big slope. Up north, Minnesota, and that kind of stuff. They have snow and other stuff, and slop and rain, and they have a big slope. There's less so in the middle areas that we find.
Okay. And then that's a good answer. And then someone was asking, I guess, more specifically about like Love Elements Evolved and the bevel doors that you were talking about earlier. Do they catch water?
We have weep holes in the bottom of those doors because the water could get in and go down and it'll drip out. We've developed a really nice gasketing system with a magnet self-close. Sucks the door closed, so you don't really get water in there. You could, I suppose, hard sideways rain like we get down here. It could get in there, but my kitchen is sitting on the water with sideways rain going right into it, and no water gets in the cabinet with the gasket. Um, so my experience is it's pretty good. It's not perfect. Nothing's perfect, but it's
Hmm.
pretty good. And the magnet closure really makes a big difference. The bevel, like I said, the water will get in and drip down and drip out.
Okay. And then what about utilizing apron sinks in your cabinetry or in any cabinetry?
We do it all the time in the regular cabinets. We don't do it, and it's not designed to do it in the new Elements cabinet. And in the Elements cabinet, you're going to have a sink. You're going to see the plumbing because the cabinet boxes is going to not be deep enough to cover it. However, what we decided and the designer decided is vanities all the time in hotels, and you see the plumbing. That's part of the thing when you have that modern look. You just see the plumbing underneath.
Yep, exactly. I know there's a lot of industrial looking ceilings and things like that too around. So one question here was about marine grade polymer cabinets and how do you think they compare?
I used to do it in 99, 2000, switched away from it because they move in the heat and the cold. You get a lot of movement, stuff peels off, you get delaminations, you have issues. Now, the plastic guys will tell you it doesn't happen, but it happened to me. And I know people who have them and switch to us. They tear it out and put ours in because of just that reason. And the other thing is from the looks, and that was part of the comments I got from architects and designers. They didn't like the look of the plastic material. They're calling them polymer. Call it what you want. Um, they're all different versions of plastic, but they don't look as good as what I've been told, which is why they switched to us or took ours instead of of the plastic, because there's 20 guys making plastic cabinets. There's a few of us making metal cabinets.
Okay.
A lot of it has to do with the machines you need to make them, and that's
Okay.
why it's difficult.
Okay. And then there's one here about surface rust. Is that a challenge on the stainless steel outdoor cabinetry in the coastal environments? And if so, how do you address that cabinetry differently, like coating it, et cetera?
Well, the powder coating, the way we do it is we powder coat all the individual pieces of the door. We only powder coat the door as a standard, but the individual pieces of the doors are powder coated and then assembled. So the doors is 99% of the problem. And a lot of people, they don't know anything about powder coating. They want a kitchen, they want stainless steel, so they get stainless steel, and of course they don't clean it. And they're sitting right on the ocean, and then they're wondering why they get surface rust. Now, if that person had a boat, they might understand why they have surface rust, because they clean the boat all the time, and you still get surface rust. So the answer is there's maintenance to be done. The beauty of the powder coat, not only was it the beauty of how it looked, but it was also about the reduction in maintenance. However, we do offer 316 stainless, which is called marine grade, and that will give you a little more time before you have to clean, because it's got more chromium and nickel in it, and molybdenum, which retards some of that. But surface rust is going to come with salt air because that's chlorine. So you have to lubricate the hinge, because the hinge that sits there, it's going to freeze if you don't clean it, if you don't lubricate it. And you have to clean surfaces that are unfinished, because that's just the way it is. And it's not a big deal if you with our cabinets as it could be. However, if it's sitting on the dock, we do a lot of Caribbean jobs. You do a lot of the Caribbean jobs. You do 316 box and door, and then we powder coat the doors also. Some people may want the powder coated interiors for that reason also. That all goes towards reducing the maintenance, but there is maintenance required. So it's, people ask, how long do I have to go before I coat it? Depends. Everything depends on how much salt air there is, how much wind you got, and how close you are to the water.
Okay.
We've been doing it 20 years. You get some people who do nothing. They do no maintenance. And there's an issue. They got to clean it periodically, but the powder coat solves 99% of the problems.
Good to know. So we're kind of running out of time here. Obviously, it's a little after one, and I
Oh,
want to
sorry.
no, it's fine. And I want to thank you so much for presenting today and answering all these great questions. And a couple of people have been asking if they can continue to ask questions, emailing them, and if there's a specific place where they should send those questions.
Yeah, send it to sales@danver.com. I'm on that email. That way I can make sure somebody will get to it if it's not me, but I'm available on that all the time.
And they're also asking about possibly getting catalogs on products.
Sales@danver.com is the best place, because then, like I said, they'll get addressed. So sales@danver.com, really.
Okay.
Regardless of the brand, it all goes to the same people.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you.
Debbie,
Go ahead, Phil.
there's resources pages on all three websites that have spec books and other information that people may want to grab.
Okay, good to know. Well, I want to thank you, Mitch, very much, and Phil for your additional help today, and all of you out there in the audience. And I hope you have a great day. Be safe.
Thanks
And
for the opportunity.
oh, you're
Appreciate
so welcome. Bye now.
it. Bye-bye.